Hello everybody, Happy New Year and greetings to you all. I wanted to tackle a subject which it's been cropped on my image behind me, but if you look behind me, that does actually say frustration. It looks more like rustache. Anyway, it's referring to frustration, and I think it's a really important subject to tackle right now, bearing in mind what's just happened to us. As if you're watching this live, we've just had another announcement in the United Kingdom for lockdown number 3, and with action, I think some people anticipated it. I was talking about it before Christmas. It was kind of obvious if you read between the lines, but that all aside for a minute, there can be a lot of frustration if you're pursuing a goal, you have aspirations, you've got projects, you're writing a book, you're building a property business, whatever it is for you right now, and you started the year. So we go into January the 1st, and then a matter of a few days later, bang. And for a lot of people, those goals will have been shattered. That's a language I'm hearing already from some people. Rocked, other people are using. Dented is another word other people used. And you notice the change in the language gives an indication of how they see the impact of this. But that's another conversation. What I want to talk about really at this stage is to say to you, it's okay to experience frustration, because at least if you're frustrated, it means you're someone that's had some form of aspirations. You have desires, you have things that you want to achieve. The fact that you're living, breathing, and able to communicate and express is something to be grateful for. We have the ability to wake up in the morning and have choices, and those choices in many cases can lead to situations that can be frustrating. They can also lead to situations that are incredibly joyous and aspirational. So we can have one of two emotions in the state of one day. You wake up in the morning, something great happens, and something else happens later on in the day, and you feel shitty. And that's okay as well, because it's about being human. And I think we all have to appreciate that in what is a difficult time for most, I know. Well, for everybody, but for some people more so. If you've started a journey, which I know, say, many of you have, if you come through a learning on property training and you're expanding new business, whatever it is for you, then that 1, 2, 3 year plan that you put in place, it's very easy to look down right now and go, oh my God, I'm so frustrated. How am I ever going to achieve that? Because we often look at what's in front of us, magnify that to such an extent that all we see is this huge mosaic in front of us, which is the current situation. COVID-19, lockdown 3, can't do anything, can't go anywhere, can't make that call, can't go and visit that business, that property, meet with that angel, go and meet that business partner, whatever. Can't do those things. So that's where the frustration kicks in. So I'm going to give you 4 things that I think would be really useful to implement, and it should pop up next to the shun on my frustration. Number 1 is just press the reset for a minute. Just pause, press reset, take a deep breath, and accept that this is where I'm at the moment. What do I need to do? So just literally go and draw a line, and whatever you were doing at the time, if things have been scuppered and a few things have gone off in different directions, press the reset button and check back in. So whether that's opening up the software that you use to plan with, opening up your journal, whatever it is that you need to do, start with a blank canvas. I don't mean scrap all your ideas, I mean pull everything together and ask a simple question. Were some of the goals that I set a month, 2 months ago, when they were set, would they work in the current circumstances? That's the most important question. So let's say you had a 4-month goal to buy X number of properties, or to win X number of clients or angels into your business, or whatever it is that you do. But that meant every single month going out and doing a certain amount of work that physically had to be done. Now we're locked down for, say, nearly 2 months. It may be physically not possible to achieve that. So that's what I'm talking about, reset. So you go, okay, let's reset and then readjust that goal, because you may have several things going on at the same time. So that's a really important part of the process. So you reset and then you review your plan. So you look at your personal plans, your business plans, your health plans, whatever. Certain plans that you set out 6, 8 months, 8 weeks ago, or at the start of this year, maybe a week ago, certain plans will not be affected by what's happening, because they are sufficiently big enough and they are long enough out for this not to impact it directly. Or it could be that some of those plans that you set out are not affected by the fact that you can't get out and do certain things, because some of that work you can do at home. You can actually learn, grow, develop if you're studying, whatever, at home. So maybe that apprenticeship period that you're in, for example, can still be done from a self-study perspective. So certain plans will be affected, certain plans won't be. That's the next thing to do. Because remember, we've got to look at the situation and ask ourselves the question, how bad is this? Because a lot of people go, I'm frustrated, but it's not as bad as you think. Number 3 is, what can you control? So as I've got on the screen there, it says, what can you control? So you look at everything's happening around you. What within your business, within your life, within the plan, what do you have absolute control over? But what has been affected by the recent announcements that you have no control over? It might be certain areas that you're going to go travel to and look at and investigate. You can't do that now. Maybe doing research, you can't actually physically get to that area. Okay, so that I can't do physically, but maybe I can do it on the internet. So that's when you do some readjustment, and that's the important thing here. So in this process of resetting, more than anything else, what it allows you to do is breathe, calmly lay everything out. Now look, I'm 55 in a week's time, so I'm talking from a lot of years of experience. If you're 22-year-old and you're like, I want to get this done now, this is where I would have been 30 years ago. I'll get this done now, down there. I understand that. I'm frustrated. I understand that. But that doesn't serve you. That emotion doesn't serve you unless you channel the frustration into a systemized approach, which is what this is about. All right, so what can you control? That's a great question. And then the last one is accept what you can't control. So you go, okay, I can control this, I can do that, I can make those phone calls, I can do this research. That has been delayed by at least 6 weeks. That I've got valuations that are supposed to have taken place this week. They've been moved back on some of my properties, so that's not going to happen. All right, so I can't control that. The only thing I do have control over is making phone calls and talking to the valuers to see if there's any way I can expedite that. Will they do a desktop valuation? Will they take a video footage from the tenants in the property? They're things I have got control over, but some things I don't have control over, like the government decision. So I go, okay, that I can't, but this I can. Now those 4 steps alone are really calming to a human being if you're feeling angry and frustrated, because now you go, okay, right. And the reason you feel better is because now you feel like you've got more control. So the objective of this process is to come back into control. If you're studying and learning right now, what a brilliant time to be doing this. Magnify that. Accentuate what you're learning. Practice it more. Use this next 6 to 8 weeks as an opportunity to do the things that you know you can do when there's a restriction on, and really magnify that. And also take some time for you as well, because meditation, gratitude and mindfulness all play out massively in this business that we're in, which is human beings, being a human being. Okay, hopefully that was useful. It's Dr. Rowe signing out.